arrows built, I'm taking, these are some carbon fiber arrows that are coated to look like a bamboo shaft. As you can see, they're carbon, and I got the inserts in them. Got them knocked. They're 500 spine. That's what I'm going to use for my 45-pound recurve. And we're sitting here. We've got a couple on the jig that we're sitting here making. And I saw these arrows online that I thought were really cool. They look very similar to this, which is what gave me the color scheme for the build. And they had something black on them, and I wasn't sure what that was. So I did a lot of research and everything, and I realized people had taken some heat shrink tubing and they put it on the arrow over the bottom of the fletchings. And so I started doing that. I really like it. I'm going to show you exactly what I've done and how I go about doing it. So first thing is I've got, what is this, 5/16 inch heat shrink tubing, and it's 8 foot of it. I think I got it for like maybe $4 at Harbor Freight. And then I cut it down into a bunch of little bitty pieces, and I just kind of guesstimated what size I wanted, you know, to each their own, but that's about the size I went with. Now I've got an arrow right here that's already fletched. Let me move this fletching jig out of the way, and you can see the fletchings are on there just fine. Nothing wrong with that. That'll work. But this tubing is just a little bit bigger than the arrow shaft here, and it fits on there pretty snug. Now the problem with that is when we get up here to the fletchings, it's not going to fit on the fletchings, which I thought was a real problem until I realized I could do this, and it turned out to work. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our shrink wrap tubing, and we're going to use the pliers and just going to kind of gently stretch that out a little bit. We're going to go in a couple different directions and widen that out. Not too much because we don't want to tear it. And then we'll just slide it over the pliers like that. And that'll keep it gapped for when we're ready. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and take our tubing off. Slide this back onto the arrow shaft, and as you can see, we'll be able to get the tips of these feathers right inside. Now, in this case right here, it's still not quite wide enough, so we'll take it back out and stretch it out a little bit more. You know, and I guess in theory you could just get tubing that's a little bit bigger, but I do like doing it this way because it shrinks down a whole lot tighter and gives me a better fit when it's all said and done. So I don't mind taking the extra time to stretch these. Alright. Almost got it. There it goes. Alright. I can see that we've got it slipped right over the tips of the fletchings. And now to shrink it, what I'm doing, I've got my little Wagner heat gun. I'm going to turn that on high, and I'm going to put the edge of it right here on the heat, let it warm up a little bit, and just twist the arrow shaft. I'm trying to keep as much of that heat on the shrink wrap and off of the fletchings themselves. And there it is. That's good right there. And now you can see if I can get that to focus a little bit right there. But that's all nice and fletched, and then we've got it shrink wrapped on there. And what this does is this prevents your feathers from catching on, like I shoot off the shelf, so it keeps it from catching on the shelf, or if you go, you know, all the way to the fletchings on a target, you're not ripping your fletchings off and stuff. So it's supposed to make it a lot more aerodynamic too, from the research that I've done. I like the look of it. I like the durability of it. I have had to change one out from where I cut a little hunk in there. All you got to do is take a razor blade, zip that off, and do the exact same thing over. And the fletchings were still secured just like they should have been, so that worked out real good. But these shoot great. They fly just the way that I wanted them to. I haven't seen any difference as far as arrow flight because of it. It seems like, if anything, it might have improved it a little bit. And that's that. That's a cheap little hack to protect your feathers. I think it's going to go really great. We're going to do some some flus. We're gonna do some traditional flus, and we're gonna do some that we do the spiral, which I'll do a video on how we do those. But I think the tips from the spiral flu feathers, that shrink wrap, will really help out a lot, because I noticed the ones that I've done before without it, they start to peel off pretty quickly. So anyway, little tip, hopefully that helps somebody. I like it, maybe you will too.